idea through your translation of 3D image that they are truly interacting with you. So when your boss is yelling at you, he's not yelling at you. He might be golfing. But you've given yourself the illusion that he is actually in that consciously when he's not. Why? Because it's your imagination that you've given yourself that interaction. So there's a lot of occurrences in time that all of your consciousnesses are separate from each other in interaction. This is something to stretch your conscience now. Open up that mind and realize how truly alone you are in your own imagination, which is truly alone. No one else is here. You're giving yourself the experience of that. But those other entities aren't sharing the same moments. Some of them are, most of them aren't. Because they're dealing with something else at that time to create this moment or this moment or this moment. That's how much you guys are truly jumping around in moments of time that you don't realize. We're just powerful creators that give us ourselves the memory of time. That's simple. Start taking that and crumbling it and see that there is no time. And the choices of time become consciously your choices. Not for fun and games, not for I can, not for ego, not for compartmentalization, for ascension. We have no more impartations. If there is anything else, anyone has a question, this is Ocyphius. I will be more than glad to assist you in any of your understandings. If there are any questions, please ask them now.
I have one. So if all we put out is compassion and unconditional love, is that all that's going to make its way to us?
Yes. Realize when you put out love in interaction with someone who is not vibrating at your same vibration, those two interactions of vibration will what? Repel each other. Okay? So that gives you the friction, if there is any left, that needs to be exposed. If you are only receiving love in interaction, in other words, that's the only way you can view others, then that person will receive what they are through the interaction and choose to stay or go, accept or neglect. So keep putting out love in every single interaction. It causes friction in you, in other words, it angers you. It makes you jealous, it makes you envious. Become that, accept that you are, see it for what it truly is, observe that moment of you, and then it goes bye-bye, because it's done. So be what you are every moment, and that's what you get back. If there is nothing left in you except love, then how can you see anything but love? So again, interactions, thoughts, ideas are your ascension for you to expose what you are to yourself so you can become, accept, be, love that for what it is, experience of wisdom, lock it in, which you don't have a choice because once you are that, it's you. It won't escape. And then continue in the now. Are you following?
Yes.
So be love, receive love.
That's what I do.
Then rock on. How do you feel?
Amazing.
Perfect. Isn't it fun? Isn't it wonderful to be amazing at every single time of your nows?
Definitely.
There you go. Awesome. Jason, do you have a question?
I had a thought. It's not necessarily a question because I already know the answer, which is probably why I wanted to ask it. But
You gave me
the incarnation of kids with ADD, because they're not really here, we're trying to force them to be in our own timeline. And
Right.
yada, yada, yada.
That's right.
So I was feeling very compassionate for kids who had to pay no attention
Right. Because they're not here.
because they're not really here.
No.
Especially my brother, because he's never been there.
No, he's not here. Because this paradigm, they've already seen it.
Yes.
They've experienced. Now, let me just tell you this. All of your cells have the memories of all of your incarnations. When they, are not held down by the belief systems of the past generations of acceptance, of becoming, of this, of that. In other words, the generations of the younger kids right now are just popping up, and the parents of now, in this time, 30s and stuff, change that belief in giving their kids the more freedom, and all they remember is what they've already experienced, and then everything becomes boring to them. Hence ADD, compartmentalization. I need to sell you more drugs. I need to have you on this. You need to be dependent on us, the government, because we're the greatest thing ever. You know, that kind of idea. But they're not there. They are ascending in other places, experiencing other places, doing other things. When they need to pop back in full consciously, they do. But they really don't care. Why? Because they know that it's a game, they know it's an illusion, and I'm sorry, it's quite freaking boring to them. Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
And I was also thinking that the paradigm of being out there and doing something for other people is built into our Western Christianity.
Yes, that is a karma thing, that it was built in. That you have to go out and do and do and do in order to receive, receive, receive. Do unconditionally, receive unconditionally. Do with no expectations, receive what? Whatever it is. And all that is love, because that's how you view it. Unconditional love has no expectations. So in the Western Christianity, you must pay your penance to receive something so you can look good in the eyes of God and all that crap. So, give it up if you choose. But very good. Very good self. Kudos. Anything else, anybody?
In every energetic interaction,
Which
because
is
it
only
takes
the...
on a life of its own, no matter how nanosecondly brief. Inherently, within any interaction, you're going to have a field of entropy.
Keep going.
In that field, as we understand it, living here,
As you understand it, remember. Keep going.
there is a observational understanding from a higher point of view
Yes.
of a never-ending It's like in the third dimensional state of mind. And as we raise that, we're raising the third 3D, because we're taking some of it with us and transforming the 4D at that point.
Yes, in a way.
Every interaction is going to have a form of meltdown or entropy or kinetic, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reaction.
It will end, and we will feel it end. And then, of course, more and more and more continuously takes its place. Sometimes we refer to this as contracts being up, interaction being up, time being up for a certain set of circumstances.
Mm-hmm. In other words, the play's been played out and it's done.
In a state
Okay.
of higher levels of ascension,
Okay.
when perhaps we're not quite there yet, but we're rising up
Mm-hmm.
to the higher levels,
Yes.
does this continuous state of quantum flux and entropy within these eddies, I mean, I know the time will go, but that doesn't stop the eddies from forming. I'm not explaining myself very well. Do you understand what I mean?
You're working it out very well, though. And this is about you.
Well,
So if anyone
my
doesn't-
job is to observe, so that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
observing.
and you're observing you. Awesome. That's what you're doing. And that's no problem with that. And if anyone else has a problem with that, that's their problem. Make sense?
Not my problem.
Perfect. So, you're looking for what's going to happen energetically in the 4th D that you pull up from the 3D? Sustaining your
Yes,
eddies?
how will it look? We
Mhm.
know how it feels in 3D.
Mhm.
Transformation?
You would think, but I don't think so. At first I thought it would, but it smells differently.
In 4D or 3?
In a transformed, I'm not going to say 4D, I'm going to say a transformed 3D.
Okay.
Because we're taking so much of this with us into 4D. And beings that exist in 4D, no.
We're not taking it with us.
We're not.
Yeah.
She's
Not,
right.
not.
There's not. The
not
only
the-
thing you're truly taking
Not
with you
the
is your
polarity, no, we're not taking that.
The
We're
polarity.
not taking 3D into 4D. 4D is 4D, 3D is 3D.
I'm saying no.
You're
Okay.
saying
I'm
no.
saying it's different this time.
Okay, if that's what
Different
you
this
choose.
time.
Yeah.
Now, if that means you think this has happened before, then you are on the paradigm of harvest, aren't you? Instead of
Have
ascension.
been, I have
Okay.
been.
All right, just understand that. So, Rita idea is we're done with this, and this will remain here for those to experience that level of understanding of 3D, whether in forgetfulness or not. But when you truly go to 4D, you are 4D now. Love, light, light, love.
So a hard demarcation line between the two.
Oh
Is that
yes.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Because there's no
the consciousness
dimension.
is totally different.
There's no collapsed light into matter. The emotion that you see is here in this 3D of forgetfulness that created that belief system. Now, when you go to 4D, you are aware, aren't you, of hate, of pain, of that. But that is in that you do not longer experience. That's why you've chosen to know it as creativity here. But the hard line you're talking about, is it physical hard line? Yes. Is it emotional hard line? Choice. But when you bring that energy into 4th D and continue that negative energy in 4th D, that is a
I'm not talking
choice.
about negative energy, I'm talking about ascended energy.
Okay, negative energy in a way is ascended energy if you understand it. I understand what you're saying though. So what you're trying to say, or what you're seeking to understand rather, is what do we truly bring up with us?
Oh, that's an aspect of it, yes indeed.
Mhm.
Yes it is. That's
Okay.
not the whole thing, that is a large aspect of it, yeah.
Right. So that large aspect, well, if you really physically want to know in this paradigm what to look forward to, would that be an idea?
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to know what we keep learning? Because
That
for
wouldn't
each
hurt, that wouldn't hurt again, that's a piece of the pie, yes.
Because in
But
each
that, not the whole
interaction,
thing, but a piece of it,
because in each interaction, there's something that we gain from it.
of course,
Therefore, it's a beginning and an ending.
right.
Because we are gaining something from it, and then
Right,
we
and
move
this
on.
continues on through
All the way up?
vibrational existences.
Yes.
And
Right.
yes, I understand that.
Okay.
It's, I will try to formulate a better question later on. You can
I
come
don't
back to
think
me.
there are words for what you are
I don't think
asking,
there are
or,
either. This
or
is,
as an answer to what you are asking,
Yeah,
okay? That's what I'm getting,
whatever it
okay?
is, I see it as brand new. Never having happened before, never having occurred before. A development that is unknown.
Oh,
That's what I see.
Are you
That's why
talking
it
about
smells so
humanity
odd.
ascension?
Yes.
Okay, individual ascension for your conscience that's here is new, yes, when you experience that. Humanity's ascension is unknown to you, therefore going to be brand new. The abilities that humanity have in the fourth density, so to speak, are different than all the other ones because of your forgetfulness with the abilities that you gain down here and the abilities you will create in the fourth density has not been done, of course has, if you choose to view it from that perspective, but as far as you are concerned, no, that is new to you. Yes, you understand that part?
I do.
Okay, so when we ascend, you take your body with you, okay? Now, when you are in 3D and playing a game that doesn't forget, in other words, a gray, an Arcturian, a Zeta Reticuli, when you are incarnated as that, in that born into the 3D, but you know you are who you are, you can go anywhere you want because you already know who you are. Here, all of this in this conscience will be new to you when you ascend. It's not for them though. So when you go from here to the fourth density as a collective, yes, that is going to be new. And there are wonderful ideas that you guys will express because of the freedom that you've discovered that you have been creating all the time. And in your forgetfulness on 3D, the abilities that you've created, or in other words, what you've created out of forgetfulness is unfathomable. In that, there are epic games in play that you will do. Densities you will create, worlds you will create, ideas that come from the knowledge of humanity, its existence itself, and everything that it's learned, so allow that. But when you are in 4D, it is 4D. It is no longer 3D. The only thing you get to take with you is your body. You do not have to bury it in the earth or burn it in ashes. Burn it to ashes, pardon me. You get to take it with you. And then you keep that image of this 3D in whatever way you choose.
Thank you.
Make sense? You might want to elaborate on it and think a little bit more, but we'll help you out. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, anybody?
I have something else.
Go ahead.
I do this thing where every place that I travel,
Mm-hmm.
I stand in front of the whatever, if it's a hotel or a friend's house, I stand in front of the restroom sink. I close my eyes and I think about all the different places I've stood and did that exact same thing.
Ooh, very cool.
And how, if I could just jump right back to my friend's, in front of her sink, or a different time when I've done that, if I could just, is it possible?
Here. Since you thought of that, of course it's possible. This is a challenge for yourself. You already laid out the way to do it. You've already have put into play, every time I go here, 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 I stand in there, and now I want to, what you would call teleport. But remember, you're not real. All right, this is interesting. You are teleporting, but you already have those parallel realities set up. The only thing you're teleporting is your conscience to that moment, to that moment, to that moment in that place, to where you're, okay, I'm here, and then you can change that timeline by moving and touching and things like that.
Yeah.
Make sense?
yeah.
So you've given yourself this challenge, and how do you do the challenge? Accept it, believe it, know it, and do it. And when it doesn't work, don't be frustrated why it's not working, and then that leaves doubt, and doubt leads to what? self-doubt, and self-doubt leads to condemnation, you don't deserve, and all that negative reality you'll play out to keep you stagnant. A challenge is for you to believe, to accept, to act upon, to be that, and it will work for you. Just know that it will in its perfect timing, in its what you call natural timing, not chronological time, which we have all set up with, I need this and I need that and I have to have this by then, and you know, your whole goal setting and all that crap. So anyways, this is a wonderful challenge you've given yourself. Do you like it? Is it exciting for you?
Yes.
Well, then keep doing it. It will happen. All of a sudden you will go, holy cow, where am I? Because everything will change in the moment. Not only the visuals, but the feeling. The feeling, the energy, the location. You will know. And then remember, your other now, the one you just moved from, is still there doing that thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
People mistake that if you are time traveling, your other self has disappeared. No, it's still living that parallel reality like all of your other selves are right now in their past self timelines and the past lives timelines. Those are all still going on. Nothing ever stops. We have enough room. Why? Because it's only imagination, and imagination is unlimited. There is no space to fill up. It goes forever. So, jump around, feel that. Because time is really fun when you start to understand fully what it is. You can pop over here, pop over there, do this, do that, and all of your other nows are doing their thing. Make sense?
And what about not just this incarnation?
You mean your other lives?
Right.
Well, that's you believing that you can be in there,
Right.
okay? Right?
Right.
You're in that conscience. Acknowledge that conscience of being a Hathor, of being a Pleiadian, being an Arcturian. Whenever you choose that you know that you are, consciously go there. Astrally, you'll do it easily. At night, in dreams, you do it all the time. But just know that you're ready to do that, so ask, be, and accept, and do that. Now, these are things that are good. These are things that will raise your vibration, to give you foundation of belief, to trust, to lock in, and to climb the ascension ladder. So do that. Play in the unknown, not in the known. We already know it. Why do you want to keep playing the known? Keep going into the unknown, the challenges that you give yourself every day. Make sense?
Yes.
Any further elaboration needed?
No.
Okay. Any other questions, class? Bueller? Anybody? Love that one. No more questions? No. Wonderful.